Okay. All right, chat. Say hi, chat. Say hi to YouTube again. Because now we have patch notes. Newsy news. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, you beautiful YouTube Tarkovians. My name is Onepeg, and this is another live edition of the Newsy News, where we're going to talk about patch notes this time, because BSG, after I ended up rendering and putting out the video, Tobias, whose challenge I'm doing right now and sitting in the middle of a raid, but we don't care, Tobias put out patch notes for everybody to read. So here we go, okay? So optimizations, they said game server and network components, memory consumption of 3D models, which is actually kind of huge. Optimizations for physics and CPU time for processing light source visibility. Shadow and cloud shaders. Game stability during issues with back-end connections and improve the speed of loading into a raid. So they've increased the speed in which we load into raids. I wonder if the cycle got to them. They're like, oh shit, they can get in 7 seconds? 15 seconds from start to load in? Jeez. Interesting. Fast raids. So what's... You know, the 50 cal is unnecessary right now. It really is. Okay. What's interesting the most about this is the memory consumption of 3D models. So one of the biggest issues with frame rates in this game, with all Unity games, is the number of actors on the screen really hurts how much frames you have because of the CPU needing to animate them all as they move around on the screen. So if they've optimized this a little bit for memory consumption, that should give us a little bit of frame rate by itself. If. Okay, DLSS 2.3.1 added to the game, which we saw a bunch of teasers of, FPS boosts, yada, yada, yada. DLSS will give an FPS boost only if your graphics card worked under 97 to 100% usage before DLSS. The GPU doesn't work if it's already at high usage. Okay, so if your GPU was already getting maxed out, if it was running at 100%, you're not going to see a frame rate increase. But most people, I would guess, would. It works best at high res. We recommend using it with monitors with a 1440p resolution and higher. Okay, auxiliary tools used in some crafting recipes will return back to stash after production completion. So they're giving us the tool thing. Added weapon and armor repair kits. Chat, tomorrow, repair kits. Repair kits tomorrow. Found in raid but can only be used while not in raid. The effectiveness of repair kits is affected by the weapon maintenance and intelligence skills. They added the Chiappa Rhino in 9x19 and 357. They're adding 4 new 357 Magnum rounds, soft point, JHP, hollow point, and FMJ. I don't know which one. I guess JHP would end up being like the punchy one. In the near future, we're adding 2 more versions chambered in 40 and 9x21. Interesting. Does that change the Toby challenge? No. I got to find a kit first. Okay. Added leveling for revolver mastering. Improved rogue AI to enhance their teamwork. Rework the spawn mechanics for Scavs in order to exclude spawns near players and inside objects. I've never spawned inside an object as a Scav. It's aimed to remove the ability to spawn at a Scav or rogue sniper position as player Scavs. I mean, they had tried to fix that before. I guess maybe they didn't. Added the ability to click the next button on the PMC USEC Bear faction selection screen before the models are fully loaded, so you can just bypass it. Updated the sounds of pouch interactions for several weapons and magazine types. Reworked the stats of the Endurance Elite level skill. Breath recovery speed is now 50%, was 100. Increases stamina by 20%, was 25. So slightly less stamina and slightly less breath recovery. Added the ability to sort tasks by location. Reworked scav behavior mechanics on factory while players are fighting Tagilla. So Tagilla won't come to his aid anymore, maybe? Because right now, if you fight Tagilla, the scavs all swarm you. Added inertia for bots when accelerating and decelerating. Added inertia for bots when accelerating and decelerating. Added speed settings for bots during stationary turning and running. They gave the bots inertia. Tomorrow. Bots will no longer shoot while switching stances. For example, when trying to go prone or stand up. Added the bots will no longer shoot while switching stances. I hope that's true. Because they have said this like I think 3 times before. Added the ability to replace an operational task in the trader quest menu. So quest replacement. The replaced task will be considered failed. The cost of each subsequent replacement will increase until the task completion timer runs out. Disabled environmental sounds like wind or rain while loading into a raid. So we won't know. Added a new type of operational task, elimination while using a specific weapon class like sniper or assault rifles. So it's weapon class now. So instead of a specific gun, they're going to give us weapon classes. So you have to do it with shotguns, or you have to do it with ARs. Added overheating ability for several weapon attachments. The death screen now shows a player's nickname if you were killed by a player scav. So it won't just be the scav's name. It will show the player's name too. So now we'll know definitively whether it was an AI scav or a player scav that killed us, because it'll show their username. That's kind of cool. I like that they did that. That's a good QOL addition. I like it. Added the connection type tab to the game settings screen, or the game settings section. Select HTTP in case of issues with access to the functional sections of the lobby. The setting does not affect game performance during raids. So they had this before, and then they got rid of it. It sounds like they're bringing it back because people are having like lobby issues where people aren't seeing other players in the lobby sometimes. Okay, list of fixes. Bots are now aggressive to player scavs again if they shoot another player scav. Interesting. So this used to be a 6.0 thing, and now it's everyone. Interesting. The cultist knife toxin durability now remains correct after it's picked up by another PMC. Okay, that's good, because it was showing 2 out of 2, even if it was zeroed out. Added NVG enable disable sounds for other players. So now we have third-party NVGs getting turned on and turned off. So we'll hear that. Boop. Control settings in the live client no longer reset to default if the player has the ETS client installed with different control settings. That's good. That was annoying. Not that I would know, because we don't talk about ETS, right, chat? We don't talk about ETS. Fix possible interface freezes when interacting with inventory and closing it by pressing the tab key. Gluhar's guards no longer stop shooting at players when switching weapons after Gluhar's death. Huh. That I didn't know was a bug. Apparently, if you killed Gluhar and then switched guns, they wouldn't stay aggro anymore. Oh, that's funny. Fix visual water artifacts in the reservoirs on Lighthouse. Objects are now correctly displayed in thermal vision goggles with high values of resampling enabled. So this was another bug. If you set your game to like 2.0 super sampling, it would give you like absurd like crazy vision at night. Like you put on a set of T7s and then you turned up the super sampling to 2.0. Like if you made your monitor like 4K but you were playing in 1440p, for instance, it would change it so that like everything was colorized. It was actually broken, really broken. The weapon mastering is now leveling correctly while using MT255. Bots now correctly decide to use prone positions when engaging a player. Bots no longer appear right in front of players on customs. Postman Pat can be finished correctly after completing all the objectives. All right, so that I'm glad they fixed that. Ammo disappearing from the inactive weapon while unloading a chamber with a hotkey immediately after swapping weapons. That was weird. Fix some places where the airdrop could get stuck. We all saw those like hanging from poles and stuff. Active headset sound effect no longer persists between offline raids. Let's see. Anything else that's like really good? The killer's name now displays correctly on the killed player's dog tag if they were operating a stationary weapon. Oh, that's funny. Not being able to place multiple M2000 markers in one raid if the player performed other hand actions while placing the marker. We have a grenade. Grenade in raid. Let's see. Bullet impacts on water now displayed correctly on customs. Fix the aiming zoom for MTS and MP43 shotguns. All right, so the double barrel and the revolver shotty should have their aiming zoom fixed. Dude, these are huge. They added inertia to bots. Nothing in here about bot bosses, though, if you notice. Nothing in here about the bosses being added. But, chat, but. They always have something hidden in the game that they don't tell us about when they release patches. So, it's possible that the bosses are in. But I doubt it. Because they said that it would be like with the Lighthouse expansion, and they're not putting out the Lighthouse expansion. Like, this is clearly not the Lighthouse expansion. So, I doubt that they'd be in, but I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to slip one in there. This will be at approximately 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time overnight tonight. So 10 o'clock MSK. Or, sorry, 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time because of daylight savings. They're +7 now. Yeah, awesome. All right, chat. Say bye. Tell everybody to buy a T-shirt to support a 17-year-old, soon-to-be 17-year-old, buying his first car. Because that's where the proceeds from the logo design that my son made, that's where they go to. All righty? Okay, bye.